Hello everyone and welcome to Makeover Monday week 21 Watch Me Viz. This week we're looking at the changing wildlife populations around the world. Let's get started by looking at the original visualization. This comes from Our World in Data based on the Living Planet Index. And what this shows us is for each of these taxonomic groups, whether they are increasing, stable, or declining in abundance. And we could see that there's only one of the five are increasing in population, and two of the five are declining by more than 50%. So the way to read this is kind of important. So this tells you that approximately half of the populations are in decline and half of the populations are growing. So it's not kind of all doom and gloom. And over here on the left-hand side, there's a really nice summary to the data here. Okay, let's see. So, and I think there's another section down here. It shows us the loss of wildlife is not inevitable. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get to it. And if you can't hear me, please let me know. But I guess if you can't hear me, you can't hear me asking that question. But if you can hear me, maybe let me know, because I'm going to go ahead and get started. The data set's quite simple. It just has the taxonomic group, the percent that are increasing, stable, and decreasing. So I'm going to start by just rebuilding the original chart. And that's going to have taxonomic group on rows, and then our three fields are all going to be on columns. Actually, I want these to all be combined onto one axis, and I'm going to put the measure names on color. Okay, so we can see these are all split up. Oh, sorry, I did that wrong. I want measure names to be on color. I took it off by accident. And what I'm going to do here is, it looks like we've got increasing on the left and then stable. So increasing, so this always gets me backwards. Stable and decreasing, and I'm going to just go ahead and pick the colors and set these right away. So decreasing populations, that's going to be this reddish color. The stable is going to be this kind of orangish color, and the increasing is going to be this bluish color, bluish purplish color. Okay, that way I can kind of match the original visualization. These look like they're a bit too bright. They probably need to be washed out a bit. Let's see. Yeah, I wonder if there's a way that I can find the colors. Okay, so let me just show you a neat little trick. If I save that as, nope. What I'll do is I'm just going to take a screenshot of this. And oops, I didn't want to do it that way. I'm going to take a screenshot of this. And then there's a tool that is really cool by, where is it here? It's under my, let's see. I could probably do it with, I think I can do it with couleurs, but there's also a Tableau tool as well that I'll show you. So while that's loading up, I'll go ahead and load up this other one. So let's see, it's the Tableau color palette generator. I think it's this here. Yeah, by Tableau Magic. So I'm going to just choose this file, my screenshot. I want 3 colors. And there we go. So now we have our 3 colors that are extracted from this. I don't think this one color quite matches. But you know, that's it. That's the idea, is you can quickly get the hex codes for this. Let's see, so start the generator. And if I remember right, I can go ahead and use this to upload a color palette as well. Let's see what these colors do here. So let's choose, see, the colors don't look quite right. These look a bit less. These over here on the right hand side look kind of washed out to me, where the ones on the left do not. So come on, this is taking too much time. So I believe, yeah, color palette from a photo. Let's pick that screenshot. And my first color is going to be this orangish color. My second color is going to be this one here. And my third color is going to be this one here. Okay, open in generator, and let's see what codes they come up with. Okay, so I'm going, yeah, these look better. So I'm going to use that for my blue. Let's see how far off it was. Okay, my stable is going to be this. And then my decreasing is going to be this. Okay, and let's hit OK, and then I can get rid of the washout. Okay, there we go. So these colors match better now. I'll provide links to both of these in the description. But yeah, really useful. I can also like lock these colors in. So let me just click off. And if I lock these three colors in, I can then hit the space bar and it'll give me other complementary colors to go with those two colors, which is really nice if I end up needing more. Okay, anyway, so let's just set this to fit entire view. Now I don't want to do that. Let me just make Tableau as big as I can. Let's make it fit width. And I'm just going to maybe make them a bit bigger. Okay, and then the original has the labels kind of in the center. So let's turn the labels on. Oh, and then all three of these and the measure values need to have percentages. Okay, there we go. And the font is probably a bit larger and probably bold, something like that. And then they all are, the labels are all white as well. Okay, so that gets us pretty close to the original. I could probably even make this a bit bigger. And then the right-hand side, so let's format that. And let's set that probably to also about 14 point. Is that about the same? And let's make it Tableau semi-bold and black. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to hide the header. Yeah, their font, it looks a lot better than this font looks terrible. Or sorry, the font on this looks fine. The font on Tableau looks terrible. And then they have this kind of legend going left to right. So let's see. So how could we could do this legend. So 50. So what we could do is I'm going to add on my totals. And I'm going to move these to the top. And then I'm going to go ahead and hide them. Now what this is going to do is it's going to give me the space there that I can then use. So let me format this. I'm going to get rid of the word grand total. And then I'm going to get rid of my, let's see, get rid of my total dividers. And then the header as well. Okay, so now what this allows me to do is I can, I'm going to just like annotate this mark, and I'm just going to put the taxonomic group on there. And no, that's not what I want to do. I want to call this increasing populations. And then this needs to be our bluish color, which I need to go back over here and get. So that's this. And let's maybe make that about 12 point. What's it look like here? Maybe, but yeah, about 12, maybe 14. Let's do that again. Okay, and then I'm going to just kind of center this here. Let me format and get rid of the line. No box, no shading. Okay, so then when I make this, what I could do is I can make it maybe the same size as this blue section here, and now it shows me increasing populations. Okay, and then declining populations, so annotate mark. This one's going to be declining populations, and I think I did 12 point, no, what did I do, maybe 14. I did 14. And then the color here is going to be this reddish color. Okay, and then again I can make this maybe fit the center of this one. And I'm going to say no box, no shading, and no line. Okay, and then the last one is going to be this color, and I think this just says stable. Okay, so annotate, oops, shoot. Annotate mark, oh come on. And this would be 12, this would be stable. Oh no, it should be 14. Okay, and then again, I'll put this here. And no shading, no box, no line. Okay, and then I'll try to make this. I think if I make this the same size as the words, it's not going to quite fit. So what I'll do is I'm going to move that. Let me just move that mark to the center. Okay. Okay, so now we've got something pretty similar to theirs. I'm going to hide the header, and then in the formatting view, oops, when I format the view, let's format the lines, the borders, doesn't matter, let's format the lines, turn my grid lines on and back off, turn off my zero lines, turn off my axis rulers, and then I think I need to format this and make it just Tableau light and bold. There we go. Now let's make it Tableau medium. Something like that. Okay, so this is the original visualization rebuilt. I wonder if I can, yeah, we can't see what font that is, but that's okay. We'll just leave it as the Tableau font for now. Okay, so I think that's it. We can maybe make these slightly thinner to maybe match theirs, so they've got a bit of space between theirs. So maybe we'll make it a bit smaller. Okay, so that's the original visualization rebuilt. Okay, but let's see what else we can do. So again, I'm going to bring these three measures in the view, and I'll move measure names to the detail and make them circles. And let's put measure names on color. And now we can see the three different numbers. Sorry, the three values. And maybe I'll put the mark labels on. Let's center align them. And maybe make them all white so we can see them. Maybe make the circles a bit bigger. Okay, so we can see something like that. Allow overlap. But so this would just be a dot plot, which isn't really anything particularly great. I find this one's a bit hard to read. But if I duplicate this, let me make the circles smaller. Turn my labels off. I showed this one last week as well, but we could make this also a like a barbell chart. So I'm going to duplicate measure values, make it a line, and put measure names onto path. Dual axis, synchronize, and then I'm going to move the circles to the front. So now we have our barbell. I think barbell is definitely better than the circles, than the dot plot. So barbell. And then the other one I showed last week was to just make the line thicker so it goes around the size of the circles. Maybe I'll make the circles, there we go, something like that. Make the circles ever so smaller with a nice little border around them. I would probably also make this a bit of a lighter gray. Okay, maybe it's slightly dark. Okay, so this would be this is another take on a barbell with the line thicker, but I don't know what to call it, but I always call it peas in a pod. So if you watched last week, you would see this as well. Let's see, what would be another option we could do? We could probably look at, if I put this here, no, I don't want to do that. I want to do decreasing populations. Increase, there we go. So we get something like that. I'm going to make it a line. And then if I put taxonomic group onto detail, we could see which ones are increasing and which ones are decreasing. Okay, so increasing and decreasing. So this would be, this is kind of like which ones are increasing or decreasing faster. So I'm going to create a calculated field that was increasing greater than decrease. And all I'm going to say here is increasing populations is bigger than decreasing populations. And stick that onto color. And now I'll have a color for each one. So maybe for the trues, okay, so maybe for the trues, I could make those, maybe I'll even use one of the colors that we have already. Let's see. So where's our color palette? Maybe I'll make the trues like that bluish color. Let's do that. And let's maybe make the falses just like a light gray or something. And then let's put the trues in front of the falses. Okay, so we could see out of the 6 taxonomic groups that they that the report is based on, you can see 4 of the 6 are increasing in population more than they're decreasing in population. So if you're comparing increasing populations and decreasing populations, you can see fish, mammals, and reptiles are all are increasing faster than they're decreasing. So this would be our slope graph. And I'm just going to put a note up here. 4 of the 6. No, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that's not right. 1, 2, 3. 3 of 5 taxonomic groups are increasing in population faster than they are decreasing in population. Faster might not be the word. What's the word they might use here? So the magnitude of increase. Okay, so the magnitude of increase. Is larger than the of decrease. Okay, that's just to help me remember what I was trying to do there. Okay, so what else could we do? So we've got a slope, we've got peas in a pod, we've got a barbell, a dot plot, we've got that. Already running out of ideas. We could do something like a bump chart. So if I do increasing here, decreasing, and stable. Let's switch these around. And if I put the group onto, let's just put it onto color. And let's make each of these a rank. Okay, so that's not what I was looking for. So rank descending. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it should only give us a rank of 1 through 5. Oh, that's what we're looking for. Okay. I don't think this is right either. Edit. Okay. Yes, that's not right. So let's keep using that. Ah, okay, it's because I formatted the so let's make that automatic. There we go. Okay. So this would be kind of the rank of those. I would need to edit the axis and reverse it. Okay, so this would be our bump chart, which isn't very good either. If I make, now I put these as circles. Ooh, that's pretty terrible. And then a dual axis and synchronize. You get something like that, which isn't very good either. It's very, sometimes it can be quite hard to get them to be just the right size. That's probably pretty good. And now if I make the lines thicker, can I get the lines to go around the circles? So maybe on this one I will, no, let's do it this way. Let's get rid of the, let's make the lines a bit thicker. Yeah, not very good. Okay, so that's not very useful either. Okay, so this would be a bump chart. What other ideas could we go with? Let me see if I can find some ideas here. Design chart choosers is what I'm looking for. Comparisons. Okay, we could always, yeah, we could always just do a simple bar chart. So if we did, and then let's see, increasing, let's flip it around, and then decreasing and stable. Oops. We could put measure names on color. Yeah, so this would give us a simple bar chart, which isn't really that great. Okay, so this is just a bar chart. But maybe what I can do with the bar chart is I can compare the increasing and the decreasing. So let me duplicate this sheet, and I'm going to remove the stable, and I'm going to create another calculated field that would be increase. Let's see, decrease versus increase, and this is going to be my decrease minus my increase. And I'm going to make this a dual axis chart and synchronize. So my measure names are going to be bars. Let's get rid of the labels. And then we need to synchronize. No, that's not right. So I want to do, yeah, so this needs to be my, I think this needs to be my decreasing. Oh no, I need to duplicate this. So let's duplicate. Okay, so that needs to be there because it needs to be a separate measure. And then I'm going to make this one a Gantt bar. And then on the size, I'm going to put my, okay, so this is the wrong way around. So let's duplicate that. Okay, there we go. And then on the color for this, I could put increase versus decrease. Okay, so now that this is a Gantt bar, we can make it maybe nice and thin, and you can kind of see it as the difference between those two. So what might be good now is instead of using the gray here, I should probably use that red. Let's see, so that would mean, yeah, so you'll see when the decrease is higher than the increase. So let's hide the headers, hide that, take that out of the tooltip. Increases, decreases, include okay. Okay, so let's call this one difference. So 22%. Okay, that's good. And then I'll probably rotate that label. Get rid of that. Let's format that. Make it nice and big. Okay. Something like that. So that doesn't look too bad. Let's get rid of our column dividers. And I think what I'm going to do is on my bars, I'm going to put measure names onto the labels and then left align them. Alignment left. And then on these bars here, I'm going to mark label never show. Okay, there we go. So now I just have it for those top two, which I think looks pretty nice. So I can delete that. Okay, so then this shows you kind of the difference. So I could now put, let's see. So I've got those labels there. What I would need to do is I want to stick labels kind of on the ends of these bars as well. So because I've already used the label shelf, I'm going to use a reference line. I'm going to put it for each cell for measure values. And let's see, I want to do it for each cell. I want to put the measure value there. The label is the value. No line. Turn off the recalculate and no tooltip. Okay, so now what I can do is I'm going to format this and make it no shading. The number is going to be a percentage, and the alignment will be left and center. And let's maybe make it nice and big. Okay, so now we can see those percentages. And then this one I could show the difference. So I'm going to just turn on my labels. And that shows me the difference between the two. So this should be, let's see, the difference should be on label. But notice how I'm going to format these so that they're both positives. Okay, so this means it's a 22%, and let's maybe make this match the mark color, Tableau medium, maybe make it 12 point. So this tells you that the decreasing population was 22% higher than the increasing population. Okay. Then I would continue to format this a bit. Get rid of my grid lines, get rid of my zero lines. I'm going to leave the dividers, I think, because it helps separate out the view. I can hide this header. And then what does my tooltip say? Decrease, increase. I probably could, on the tooltip, put increase, decrease, and difference. I'm going to put all of those on the tooltip. So each of these I can see all three all three items in the tooltip. So tooltip, get rid of measure names. Yeah, so now we can see all three in the tooltip. Okay, so that's I think I like that one so far. So let's call this bar chart with difference. All right. What else do we have here? Anything else? So a bullet graph there. What I would probably do for that is have just the group, maybe the increasing population, decreasing on detail, and then add a reference line. That would be my decrease. And then what I would probably do, so let me make this a bit bigger, and then I would just put the increase or decrease on color, something like that. So that would be our bullet graph. Okay, I'm going to move this one to the left because that's my favorite so far. Line graph won't work. So we could do something like if I do, let's see, I need to, so let's call this minus decrease populations, and then so if I put that here, this should then go in the negative direction. That's good. The increasing population should go the positive direction. That's good. And then I need to split the stable in half. So stable minus is going to be stable times 0.5. And let's duplicate that. And I'm going to call this stable plus. And then let's put both of those on here as well. And now if I move measure names to, let's move it to just color for now. We could sort this by, what if we sort it by the field decrease? Let's see, increasing populations. There we go. So what I would do here is my decreasing population is going to be my reddish color. And then my stable is going to be so I'm going to make both of the stables the same color. The reason I did a plus and a minus is because I wanted this, because it's neutral, I wanted to split it across the view. So this is called like a spine chart, I think. I think that's what it's called, spine chart. Let's see, do they have that showing here? I think that's what it's called. That's literally a spine. Let's see what this is here. Yeah, it's kind of like a butterfly chart. Okay, that's not what I was looking for. Let's just look at images here. Okay, definitely not a spine chart, so that's not right. Yeah, it's kind of like this chart here. So it's, well, anyway, let's call it, let's just call this a diverging bar chart. Now this one's good because what I could do now is I could add the labels for these. So let's put the labels on. And let's put the labels on for these. And then in the middle, what I want to do is, how am I going to do that? Yeah, I guess I don't really need to worry about that. So let's select them all. So measure values, format, percentage. Okay, oops, that didn't work. Decrease. Okay, so we would get something like that. So this shows you just kind of like the way that they lean, I guess is the best way to say that. I would probably also put a constant line at 0 so we can kind of see where the middle is. God, this is annoying. Format. So let's make it a nice dark line down the middle. And then the label shading is none. And then what I'm going to do is, oh God, I'm going to show no label, no tooltip. Okay, so this kind of helps split the view up a bit. Something like that. I don't know what you think of that one as well, but I think this one looks pretty neat as well. If I make these maybe 14 point, Tableau medium, something like that. So, but my decrease minus number format, default properties number format should be, they both need to be positives. Yes, there we go. Something like that. And then on my tooltip, I would always have the increase, decrease, and difference. No, and stable. Okay, and then I'm going to take these out of the tooltip. So now my tooltip looks nice and neat. So let's put this here. Okay, probably don't need the decrease in there. No, wrong one. Took the wrong one off. The difference we don't need. Okay, there we go. So it could be something like that. Okay, so that's pretty good. What is that called? It's not a diverging bar chart. It's a oh gosh, what is the name I'm thinking of? It'll probably be so I did the comparisons, relationships. Yes, we don't have anything there. Concepts, how things work. Okay, range. Yeah, so it's not that. Okay. All right, so design. Let me see. So what let me see here. Where is that chart chooser? So we're looking at diverging. Yeah, so it's a diverging. Yeah, spine chart. Single value into two contrasting components, male, female. Yeah, so diverging stacked bar. Diverging stacked bar chart. Okay. I'm kind of out of ideas now. Let's see. Let's hide that. So, yeah, we've got kind of two choices here. We've got this one with the, yeah, so this one shows the difference between the increasing and decreasing populations, and the diverging stacked bars. I think on this one, let me show the header again. I'm just going to have the header go to the same on both sides, so minus 0.65, 0.65. Okay, that just centers the whole thing. And then if we format this view, okay, format. Something like that. Can I also attach the last link to this description? Yeah, anything that I have open, I'll post the link in there. Okay, so what do I think here? So let's remove, okay, so we would probably, I find this one a bit hard to read. I understand it, but I think it'd be hard to explain to people, where the diverging stacked bar I think works really well. So I think I'll go with that one. And let's call this, what week is this? 21, I believe. And let's make it, maybe I'll default it to 800 by 600 to start. Delete that. And actually, I'll leave the phone on there. Let's see what happens. So I'm going to just float in my diverging stacked bar. Let's get rid of that. Okay. Let's maybe put 20 of inner padding. So it definitely doesn't need to be that tall, but I'll leave it like that for now. So to caption. And then here, I'm going to make this a light gray and 8. Center. So the data source is, let me go back here. Our data source is our world and data. And then I need to make sure I put in this citation. And I think, how did they write that on here? Okay, maybe I'll just put it as and you know what font this is, Tableau Book 8. But I think they list it as source. Okay. Okay, so I'm just trying to give the people that created this credit, because that's what they asked in the article. They asked to give credit for that. And I think I'll just move this down. There we go. Yeah, something like that. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit the aliases. I'm going to make them all capitals just because I like it that way. God, it's annoying. Amphibians, birds, fish, mammals. Okay. Let's see what this looks like now. Okay, so now I think this needs to be a bit, these can probably not be quite so big. God, the font is just terrible. And I think it needs to be a bit wider, so this slope shows up a bit better. Yes, maybe 900 is good. Yeah, I think that's okay. And then I'm going to go back to my, and let's make these slightly smaller. Yeah, now we've got a bit of a gap between them. Okay, so that's good. So now I need to decide what to put in the title. Okay, how are wildlife populations changing? Okay. And then what do they have in here? Around half of populations are increasing and half are in decline. Okay, so I think this is okay. Let's maybe make this 18. I'm going to center it. And then I think I'm going to use the same trick I did with this here. I'm going to do that again on this chart. So I'm going to add in my totals. And let's move them to the top. Oh, I got my tooltips turned off. Command buttons. Oh, it doesn't. I have to do one at a time. Okay. Format. We can get rid of our grand totals. And then the word grand total. Get rid of the word. Okay. So then what I'll do here is, okay, so I'm going to mark, annotate mark. So this is going to say decreasing. And I'm just going to format them all at the same time. Not sure why those disappeared. Okay, and then annotate mark. This would be increasing. This should be the blue. And then this should be annotate mark. Stable and 12 and orange. Okay, so let's make these all look a bit better now. That's fine. So let's format. And this one I'm going to set the background to white, because I don't want the, so none, nope. No line, okay. And then this one, none, doesn't really matter, maybe I'll make them white as well, no line. No line, okay. So I think I'm going to just have this say decreasing and then increasing. Okay, so now I can, what I'm going to do to get this nice and center aligned, I'm going to drag all of these like that. And I'm going to just make sure that's on center. Okay, same thing here. And then this one, that looks pretty good. Okay. So I think I'm happy with that. I don't really like this white, this little black line up here, so I'm actually just going to do something I would probably never do and drag a blank object in here. And then in the layout, I'm going to set it to white. And I'm going to just put it over top of that. Don't tell anybody I cheated like that. Okay, how are wildlife populations changing? Okay, so if I make this now fit entire view, and then I want to shrink up the height. So let's maybe make it 500, maybe 550. Okay. Why is this? I don't quite like how this isn't centered very well, because I want it centered over the word stable. Actually, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that. I'm going to do the ads. Okay, it's not worth it. Okay, that's good enough. How are wildlife populations changing? All right, and I think I will be done there. Oh, I was going to look at the phone layout. You see Tableau does a terrible job with the phone layout. So I'm going to make sure it's rotated, unlock that, and I want to do fit all. I see it sticks it in this stupid container. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually hide the title and drag in a text box here and paste. And let's see what that looks like. Yeah, so that's better. And then these just need to be moved over. And that should take care of that. So now we have our mobile version as well. On this, I'm going to make sure that I force the labels to be white. And then maybe make this over a little bit so I can read it. Okay. All right, so I think that just about does it. So yeah, hopefully you found it useful, and I appreciate you coming on. And yeah, I think that's it. Everybody have a great day. Thanks for coming. Bye.